2.3 pH. All right. And then in between 1:30, of course, when I'm done with our conversation, 1:30, we're going to have a program by SDN. Okay. And then afterwards at 2:55, we're going to have also, a recorded program. So that's what we have on the table. Everything all tabled out. Okay, so I had to do a quick Google search to just find out, which other country in the world is carrying out or has implemented this 12-year uninterrupted basic education model that, the minister is proposing. And then I saw Spain, I saw Turkey, one other country. I'm going to find where I saw that. And then I'll tell you about the particular country. But let me go back to what the minister himself said. We had it in our 6 a.m. bulletin today. All right, here we go. So the Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, what did I call him? I think I mentioned Maman. Who is Maman again? There's a Tahir Maman. Who is he? Oh, goodness me. I know I mentioned the name. I wasn't... Excuse me. Maman. Okay. I'm going to find that. I'm sure he's one of the ministers, but... What's his job again? Why is that man's name? Oh, he's the former Minister of Education. Oh, no wonder. I just quickly said Tahir Maman in my mind. Apologies for that. Okay, so back to the story now. So the Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, has reviewed plans to introduce a compulsory 12-year uninterrupted basic education model, scrapping the junior secondary school and senior secondary schools in the country. Now, Dr. Alausa reviewed this on Thursday in Abuja during the 2025 Extraordinary National Council on Education meeting. He said they are seeking the abolition of the 6334 model. That's the system, and replacing it with a 12-4 system. Okay, so let me find the sound so that you can hear. In case you were not here, you didn't listen to the news at 6, or you didn't hear it then. So here's what he said.
It is crucial to ensure that Nigeria's education system meets the diverse needs of our children and prepares them for the future challenges. Now, some of the issues that informed the convening of this extraordinary National Council of Education meeting will focus on 4 key areas. Introduction of the 12-year basic education in Nigeria education system.
Okay. So that's what he said. So he actually said that by incorporating secondary education into basic education, students will benefit from uninterrupted learning up to the age of 16. So he said they're now seeking the approval of the National Council on Education, that's NCE, to officially adopt this 16 years of age as the minimum entry age requirement into tertiary institutions in Nigeria. So he said the new policy is in line with global best practices and will also reduce dropout rates by eliminating financial and systemic barriers that currently prevent students from completing secondary education. All right. So this is more like if we do not have JSS, that means there will be no junior WAEC fees to pay, you get? And then if we don't have the SS, maybe there'll still be something. I mean, senior WAEC cannot be scrapped now. Will they? Will they do that? I don't know. But hey, so that's what he said. So let's just get into the question, the conversation. So I told you I had to look up and find out which other country in the world actually has implemented this or has adopted this, and maybe it's working for them. Because, we're very quick at saying, international best practices. And then you now wonder, okay, who are these international people? Give us names. We want to work with names. Okay, so I saw the two countries I mentioned already, Spain and Turkey. So they have successfully implemented a 12-year uninterrupted basic education model. And of course, Nigeria is now considering this similar approach, right? So beyond the global comparisons that we are doing now, how well does the system fit into our unique socio-economic and cultural reality? Nigeria is not Spain. Nigeria is not Turkey. If we're talking about readiness, are we truly ready? In terms of infrastructure, have you been to the schools? Yeah, especially the government-owned schools. It's usually the government-owned schools because, well, I might say that, but there are also places where the schools are not government-owned. They're private-owned schools, and they look terrible. So I'm still asking about readiness. Readiness in terms of infrastructure, teacher capacity, bridging regional disparities. So there are just so many areas that we can actually look at, right? If we're going to have this conversation. So let's look at the potential benefits that this may have, the challenges, and what it really means for students. And then the parents also. And of course, the future of education in Nigeria. But then I just want to ask you, what reservations do you have about this proposal? You have read about it? Whatever story you heard later on where they're saying, oh, they have not scrapped JSS and SSS, it's just a clarification. We are not saying that we have scrapped it. We're still using it. But this is what we are proposing now. So he says, if we run like this all the way till the person is 16, then we will not have cases of dropouts anymore. We're going to have children in school until they are done. A 12-year model. Some people on X have taken this to another level. They're busy screaming primary 12. On X, that's Twitter, or formerly known as Twitter. So people are there screaming that. But let me hear from you, though. All right? So if we're talking about uninterrupted education up to 16 years, is it going to improve learning outcomes? What is stopping us from having that now? I mean, with all the free education that different state governments have adopted, you still have kids who are not going to school. Why? Have we tackled that? How about the quality of education? Because we keep talking about quality now. Oh, yeah, the teacher issue that we still have. Go to the communities, you still find schools where teachers are not available. Yeah, you have one person handling let me just exaggerate, 100 subjects, right? So have we been able to fix that? Are we even looking at fixing that right now? So the minister is arguing that this system is going to reduce financial barriers. Is that true? Or is it going to actually increase the financial burden on the government? Yeah. Can we afford this as a country at this time? And then if you're now looking at parents, right? As a parent, adjustments will have to come in, but that's not such a big deal now because what's the word now? We're human beings, and so we always find a way to adjust to whatever comes, and we run with it. But even at that, it's still something to look out for. Adjusting to having your children in a single school structure for 12 years. I'm pretty sure people can still pull their kids out of one school and, get into another school. Or do you think this does not concern... This is not going to be an issue, really? That thing about having your kids in one school. Do you think this is maybe the good part of this proposal? You're sure that, okay, they can do from primary 1 till, whether it's primary 12 or whatever, till they're done. You're not bothered about, oh, it's now time for JSS1. You're now buying, new sets of uniforms and buying everything and starting afresh and moving from one location to another and all of that stuff. But knowing that, okay, now we are here. So, let's just go. Perhaps that's the positive aspect of this. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0002, and 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0007. And then let's have your messages on WhatsApp. Send them to 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. And now for the children as well. I feel like staying in a particular place for a very long time, it does something to your mind. That's just how I feel. Unless even with this model, you can still move your child from one school to another. Not necessarily that you stay in one school and that's it for life. Okay, not for life. For 12 years, you're in that place, you're in that environment, whether you like it or not. Okonkwo is calling from Rumokuta. Hello, Okonkwo.
Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon, sir.
I am not in support of this.
Why not?
We are okay with the 6334 model.
Don't say we. Speak for yourself.
Okay. I am in support, and when myself and my family were in support. Let me take your mind back. You knew that was how they came and removed the history many years ago. Now we have come back to history again. To bring back history to secondary schools and primary schools. Then the idea of somebody for patterning the study in the schools to the point that somebody must be 16 years before the person will have access to tertiary institutions. It is wrong. Because some children are naturally born intelligent. Some children are naturally born brilliant. So there's no need. When I was in elementary school, at elementary 6, my friend corrected the teacher that was teaching us. The man did mathematics and failed. And that boy did that same mathematics and passed it. And the teacher was angry. It brought to the attention of the headmaster. And the headmaster discovered that that boy was the one that got the mathematics. So we should not subdue the natural gift of God of coming up with this system. I don't like it. Allow children. The 6334 model is okay for us. Junior secondary, senior secondary, then university. Then let us allow children to perform based on the brain that God has given to them. Those that are excellent, and brilliant, should be allowed to enter university at any time. I'm concluding. Let us not build on the size of the human body, but let us build on the brain of our children. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Okonkwo. So how about you? What reservations do you have about this proposal? What are those things that you feel, this is not going to work? All right. Now, while you're also telling me your reservations, you can also tell me what you applaud about this. What do you think is the good side to this proposal? Yes, if we adopt this model, I think this is the advantage that we're going to get from this. What is that thing, or what are those things? Based on what the minister said, the story is all over the place, right? And I'm sure you also heard me when I read it out. Good News is calling from Port Harcourt. Hello, Good News.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
This idea, I think I went up because
Your line is breaking, Mr. Good News. You have to speak louder, please. If you're using an earpiece or headphone, you can remove it.
Can you hear me now?
This works. Go on.
All right. I think what is permanent in this life is change. Change in life. That is what is permanent. And some people may advance to it. But actually, there was a time that we are talking about, I think, SS2. There wasn't anything like SS3. And people accepted it in good faith. When we changed to get SS3, people accepted it. We are having primary, elementary. From elementary, we talk of basic. And life goes on. Let us try this. Although some people may not like it, but you don't like it, does not stop it. And even though you like it, it may not even continue with it. But one thing is in life is what? Permanent. Life, change is permanent in life. So as it is going, let us try this again. But one thing for it, when you look at it critically, you discover that people love changing environment. Some people will like to be in a particular place. At a certain time, they will decide to go out to see another environment altogether. But that's notwithstanding. You cannot stop it. If government have decided it, put it up. You don't have any other thing to do. It will still help us. So far, it is not dead.
All right.
It's permanent. That is permanent. Change is permanent in life. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Good news. Hello, Mr. Zion from GRA. Go on.
When a man stays in darkness for too long, he will become blind. That is the concept of thought the Nigerian government, by one of their ministers, want to introduce to our children. A continuous stay for 12 years. It will make the children blind, dull, weak, angry, unexpected, and no realistic. The question is, it did not even give a reason why we should abolish the 6334. Besides, I don't want to go with the 334. We should remove the 4. Because we have seen situations where strike have prolonged the 4 to 5. We have seen when unnecessary closure of the 4 have extended 4 to even 8. We have seen it. But why don't you employ the Finland model of education? There is a better way we can do it. The 6, the child is expected to go to the 3 level. With that expectation, I will change my uniform, I will meet new friends, I will have a new teacher, a new friend, new environment, a new approach. These alone have driven some adenosine into the mind of the child, expectation and curiosity. It gets there, it scales through with another expectation. Do you know why January became so fast for many of us? Let's be honest, it's the same 12 hours morning, 12 hours night, right? But it became so fast because of our curiosity and expectation. Our minds were busy, we're not dull. You see, before you know, January don't finish. Unlike before that, there were no expectations. So what this minister want to do is to collaborate with people who want to impoverish the children, who want to subject those ones who can send their children abroad. The children should remain dull, while our children come back with smart brain. You are killing the mind of the children for you to adopt these 12 years. Imagine them staying in one place for 12 years.
All right, Mr. Zion.
They see Mr. Zion's face, they saw his character, they saw his attitude, they know how he talks, they know how he eats. It will not give them an improvement. But the next 3, they're expected to see Constance. We just finished seeing Mr. Zion. Now we want to see Miss Constance.
Okay.
This is how children explore and they learn. I am not in support of this one they want to introduce. It's too skewed and primitive.
All right. Temple Okere, welcome.
The very distinguished Constance Mega, really, I salute you.
Well done, sir.
I celebrate you once again. Looking at this new policy, And one of the things they mentioned this policy will help them to tackle is the rate of school dropout. Am I right?
Yes.
I want to ask, this new policy now, is it coming with free education all through?
I don't know.
It's not coming with free education.
I don't know. I can't tell. Yeah.
If it is coming with free education, I would say it's a welcome development. Because one of the major factors that is causing this rate of school dropout is fund, the money. If you cannot meet up with your school curricular activities and payments, you talk of children, school fees, pay this, buy uniform. Even some of the schools, primary schools, they say they are doing free education. Teachers are busy extorting children, imposing levies upon levies that their parents cannot even meet up to pay. But I want to tell Mr. President, if this kind of their policy is not coming with free education, I would describe this as another misplaced priority from their own end. And that tells you that the Minister of Education and the President doesn't have any policy driven as far as education is concerned. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much for calling, Temple. See messages here on WhatsApp. Let's see. Oguojone Justice says civilization and education have been misused in our society today. All right. Okay. Aresalia, thank you for your message. Good afternoon. The idea of having straight educational system is good for me as apart from political hunting of people who has ever asked of most times FSLC or even GSS3 certificates for anything. But parents and children struggle to register for these exams. All the middle exams should be abolished, my opinion, from ID. ID texted from Port Harcourt. I understand your message. You're saying apart from political hunting of people, who has ever asked for the first school leaving certificate? I think for federal government's work, I think they ask for it. The federal civil servants should be the ones to answer that. I think they actually request for it. GSS3, I don't know if there's anywhere that GSS3 certificates is required. But then, just like you said, parents struggle to ensure that their kids take that exam or those exams. Charles from Port Harcourt, welcome. Go on, please. Hello?
Yeah, Constance, very good afternoon. Happy weekend.
Good afternoon.
Okay. When we talk about this new policy, I would just say it's not working. And in fact, I believe it will not work. You see, one thing about this government since they came in is bringing policies without looking at it whether it will work for the people. I feel with policies, bringing new things, changing. Okay, it's still one this education minister that said, in collaboration with them, that you must be 18 before you go to university. Today, that was just last year. Today, they are coming up with another plan that they're bringing 12 years basic, 4 years, and you'll be 16. Where are we starting? Is it the 18 or the 16? This same government brought in, we had democracy at May 29. They came, they changed it to June 12th. Now we are confused. Which one is the democracy day? Is it the May 29 or the June 12th? You just keep changing things. We should look at things holistically and know what will be the best for the youth. Don't just bring our education system into disrepute. Thank you, man.
All right. Thank you very much, Charles. Good afternoon, my radio queen. Is 6334 and 124 the problem of Nigeria now? Would this 12-4 system settle the poor education system, dilapidated structures, and lack of teachers? Why should 6334 be abolished? Misplaced priority. That's a message from Lady V. Someone asked, I think it was Temple Okere. He's like, okay, so is this coming with free education? Because, I mentioned it in my introduction that even in states where you have the government giving the free education, you still have dropouts. You still have out-of-school children right in the midst of the whole free education at the basic education level. And so I'm not sure, I don't know. It's a proposal though, so we don't know everything about it yet. If the plan is to also ensure that, okay, if at the primary level, nursery, primary, where, there's free education, then we can extend it all the way till what I'm familiar with, SS3. So you don't need to do any special external examinations in between. So that means there would be no primary 6 exam, that first school living certificates, right? And then there would be no GSS3 exam, because those things actually go up a lot of money. For even when there is free education, you still get to pay for these exams. So maybe scrapping those exams. There's nothing the children are looking forward to. There's no examination anxiety or fever. There's no preparation for some special examination to prepare them for the next level. Oh, we're moving from primary school now to secondary school. There's I don't know. But I think I liked the whole thrill of preparing to move into secondary school. I liked it. Knowing that, yeah, we're done with this place. I will not come back to this school again. Moving up. Preparing. We're writing common entrance exams. And then we're writing first school living certificate exams. Preparing to move to the next level. Junior secondary school exams came. That's the junior WAEC. We're preparing for that. And all of that. I don't know. Maybe because that's what we saw. So when you have something on ground, you work with what you have. Perhaps if it were not there, I wouldn't have felt the way I felt about it. Harry from Port Harcourt, please go on. Oh, apologies, Harry. Please, you can as well call back. Thank you. So I wouldn't know, right? So maybe when they're done with whatever they have decided, then we would know what is captured in that document for this particular proposal. And crazy enough, I just did a calculation in my mind. So if it says 12 years and then the child should be 16 when they are ready for school, does that mean that children should start school at 4? I've had that argument with some people before now. There was a story I saw online recently where a 2-year-old child was said to have died while in school. And some of the comments, people felt like, okay, sorry to hear about this, but what is a 2-year-old doing in school? Like, what's the child learning? I'm deviating a little bit, but not so much, because age came in, right, with what the man talked about. He was talking about 16 years of age. So I was just calculating as I was seated here. If when the child is done with 12 years in school, they should be 16. Then a lot of kids really would not be ready. That means when you're done with the 12 years, you have to go and do something else to make up for the 2 years that your parents rushed to put you inside school, or the 3. Some of us, the 3 years old. So I feel like 3 years is a good time to start nursery 1. So if by 12, after 12 years, that means the child will be 15 years old. So they have one year at home before they can qualify for university education or tertiary education, actually. Well, I'm just thinking out loud. Soke Fuwara from Port Harcourt says, I am in support of a compulsory 12 years of education. We need more educated people in the society to help the way society reasons. Have you tried engaging with people who did not go to school or with people who had few years in school? You can detect from their views to life. You can also detect from their communication pattern and also judgment of things. More years of education will be fine for Nigeria, plus some infusion of new lesson that meets the needs of the society. As we grow, we will have to accommodate new things. He's not proposing more years. Like, they're not spending. Are they spending more years? They're not. They're not spending more years in school from this proposal. Or maybe I'm the one who's not calculating well. I need to go back to that thing. I think I'm not calculating well. Maybe this 12 is from primary 1, right? I think it's from primary 1. Why am I adding nursery school? I don't know, because I feel that's part of education. That's part of it. So maybe it's from primary 1. I'll go back to that story, and so that I'll be sure of what I'm calculating. Okay. Let's see. Another message here. Wellex says, some people are at loss in the proposed education program when it was 6-3-3-4 system. It was 6 years in primary school, 3 years in junior secondary, 3 years in senior secondary, and 4 in tertiary. All things being equal, with this 12-4 arrangement, is there really any difference in what we are presently operating? Okay, because it is still 6 years in primary and 6 years in secondary. That is 12. And 4 years in tertiary. Nigerians need proper clarification on this new arrangement because, just as you said, some people on social media are speculating 12 years in primary education, which will be outrageous. Is primary education going to be merged with secondary education to make it 12? I think that's what the man is proposing. Yeah. So thank you for your message. Your message actually helped me get my own clarity here. So the man who said more years in school, no. It's not more. It's the same thing. It's 12 years, the man said. The 12 years, we're not calculating from after primary school, then you run 12. It's not like 12 plus 6 or 12 plus 3. It's still what it is. It's still what we are running already. But I think the whole idea is just you're in school, no external exams for the next class, nothing like that. You're in school till after 12 years. I think that's it. Well, we'll go on that break now for the news, trending stories. Afterwards, I'll be back. Stay tuned.
Talk radio.